And in the words of Maya Angelou, when you learn, teach, and when you get, give. Welcome to Conversations with Verdel Jones. I'm your host, Verdel Jones. And being an educator at heart, I'm dedicated to sharing conversations that inform and enlighten in the hopes that you learn something you may not have known. We have an awesome show planned for you today. I am so excited to bring these guests on today. You are going to learn a lot, so make sure that you stay tuned for the information we are going to share. Before we get started, I want to thank our partner sponsor, Miss Nancy Vargas Johnson. She's a realtor in the Long Island area, Nassau, Suffolk, and also Queens. But if you are out of state, she can help you with that as well. So if you're looking to buy or sell a home, you can reach out to Nancy Vargas Johnson. I just want to thank her so much for always supporting Conversations with Verdel Jones. So also, I wanted to let you know, I can't tell you how excited I am that we have found a location for our Write, Rhyme, and Recite collective. We are going to be at the African American Museum in Hempstead, New York. We went this past Saturday. We secured the location. We are set for June 8th. So we're going to have it on a Saturday. We were going to have it on a Sunday, but now we're going to have it on that Saturday, so June 8th. And there's a lot of exciting things going on with that. The application for students is now open. We also have a GoFundMe page that we're working on. So if people can donate to that to help us keep, to give more scholarships for the students, that would be awesome. We do have a flyer in reference to where students can actually apply. You can go to my website, deliteach.com, and I think it's / scholarship. So you can take a look at that. If you have any seniors that have a flair for the spoken word, they can compete for one of our Poetry Slam scholarships. And we're also looking for authors as well, because we're going to have authors, as we did last year, participating and talking about their books and selling their books. We just had a great time last year. We gave over $3,000 away to students who competed in the scholarship. So we want to make this year even bigger and better. So check that out. Make sure you go to deliteach.com also to support us and donate to our GoFundMe. The other thing I wanted to let everybody know is we also have Conversations with Verdel Jones mugs, as you can see. So you can go to my website and you can purchase your mug so you can be part of the show. So those are just a couple of things that I wanted to bring to your attention and let you know. We are excited about all the things that are going on. Today we're going to be talking about boosting your brand. We all know that it's sometimes it's difficult to get your name out there in a particular field. It's a challenge, and social media plays a big role in this. And you don't know how much I guess with social media you have to go all out, but it becomes very time consuming. There are people who actually, do that for a living. They handle your social media accounts. There's actually majors in college that deal with social media and marketing. So, but the thing with that also, it's forever, it's ever changing. There's always something new that you have to be aware of. That's why sometimes you have to find that balance of what you can do for yourself and what other people can do for you. I'll give you an example. I have a talk show, I'm an author, and I've been doing a lot of these things on my own, from Canva to Kazoa to developing websites. I've been able to do all of that, and putting so much time into doing those things, sometimes some of the other things are kind of left behind. So you really have to figure out what you're willing to do as far as having somebody support you in those efforts. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the importance of media. Media is so important to get your name out there and get your message across. And that's why I have this platform. Conversations with Verdel Jones is really dedicated to giving individuals a platform to share their information. It's share, inform, enlighten. And I have such a passion for people learning new things and finding out about things. A lot of times we don't know what we don't know. So Conversations with Verdel Jones is really dedicated to doing that. So we are welcoming some awesome individuals to our conversation today. Our first guest is Beth Brown, and Beth Brown is an urban portrait, fashion, and lifestyle photographer. She's the founder of Babs Photography LLC and the Big Black Book NYC, which is a social media directory of small business owners in the New York City area. And she has a unique approach to media that strengthens communities and dispels stereotypes. So to show that there's power in numbers and change the way people of color are portrayed in the media. We know that in the media, individuals of color are sometimes portrayed in negative light. We have more negative images than we do positive images. So I'm so excited to talk to her about what she has developed to show positive images of people of color in the media. So the Big Black Book NYC, Beth Brown, she's going to be here in studio. We also have Miss Sharon Devonish Leid. She is the CEO of NetStruc PR. She's a celebrity publicist. She's a speaker, a TV host, and an author. She has over 20 years of experience in media and public relations, and she is an expert in community engagement and providing her clients with direct contact to their target audience. She has created very strong relationships with some powerful media outlets, so she makes sure that her clients get to those media outlets to share their information. As I said, media is so important to make sure that you get your name out there. She's also the founder of Ladies of Third Thursday, which is a monthly business networking group. So I'm excited to hear about that as well. These women are really committed to helping develop your brand. So we're going to be talking about that. So we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to welcome Dr. Sarah A. Boswell. She is the founder of Collective Learning LLC. She is in our Educator Spotlight. And her approach to helping teachers be the best that they can be focuses on a holistic health and wellness approach. So she, combines the professional development that teachers need to be successful in the classroom, but also she recognizes that they're just as good as their health and wellness. So we're going to be talking to her in a minute. So when we come back, we're going to have Dr. Sarah A. Boswell in our Educator Spotlight. Welcome back to Conversations with Verdel Jones. As promised, we have Dr. Sarah A. Boswell live Skype with us, and I'm so excited to have her here with us today. How you doing, Sarah?
I am doing fantastic, Verdel.
Awesome. So just, in full disclosure, I want everyone to know that I have known Dr. Boswell for what? I don't know. How long, Sarah? Maybe 40 probably years?
Yeah. Probably so.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I am so excited to have you here so you can share with everyone what you're doing, what you've been up to, the company that you have developed to help teachers. Just watching you grow and develop into, what you're doing today is really inspirational to a lot of us. So I want to acknowledge that and just kudos to you.
Thank you. Thank you. You are definitely a great role model as well.
Thank you. So you're an accomplished educator and you're also an advocate for teachers and students.
Yes.
When did you realize that your passion was in this type of work?
Oh my God. Actually, it probably started when I was a little girl. My mom used to go to she was a teacher herself before she became a housewife and did all that good stuff. But she used to tag me, bring me around when she would work at the little daycare centers in the area. And I just kind of fell in love with just working with children.
Right.
It was always a passion of mine. I did not acknowledge that. I went to college, was a math major, was going to do all this different stuff.
Right.
And graduated and realized that my heart was really, being a teacher.
Right.
And so I kind of went back to school, got my teaching degree and started teaching. And even when I started teaching, I found myself in mentorship roles. We had the district had a mentoring program. I was recommended to go to represent my school. And my responsibility then was to pretty much create a mentor program for the new teachers that come into our school, and I loved it. My principal did an awesome job. Mr. Tippins was phenomenal in hiring great teachers who just were, very exciting about about the work, and I just love to support them to make sure that they got off to a good start.
Right. It's funny because we have, we've had people in our Educator Spotlight, and a lot of them really say that they knew they wanted to teach at a young age. So, it's something that you just feel, and especially the exceptional teachers,
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
It definitely is passion of mine.
Right. So you started teaching in the United States, and you were teaching there for a good little while. But you also had an international teaching experience, or working with teachers at the international level. Just share a little bit about what made you want to transition to being in a different country, sharing your skill set.
I know. Okay, so that's kind of a little bit of a kind of backtracking story too, because even before I became a teacher, I had an inspiration to teach internationally.
Okay.
And that was kind of part of the reason too of after going through my schooling, working in corporate America, and then pausing everything and going back to school, was because I wanted to actually, teach abroad, and
Right.
I had to have a teaching certificate to do that. So it was very ironic that years later, totally forgot about that I found myself in an international setting.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like many teachers' journey there. I taught in Abu Dhabi, and many people go there because it's a great opportunity to travel, meet people. Right. The pay is really, really good. But my story was a little different. I was working on my dissertation, and I was doing my business there in the States and thinking that I could do both. But I had a contract with the school, and it was over in 2 years. And I'm now in the midst of writing my dissertation. I have no time to try to get new clients.
Right.
So I, went back into the classroom, and I started teaching, and Abu Dhabi kept popping up in my space. Met people from Abu Dhabi, and I was getting emails. Do you want to teach in Abu Dhabi? I was like, fine, I'll go to Abu Dhabi. And so, but yet it was a very, really good experience, because what it brought to my work was the opportunity to see teachers from across the world.
Right.
Abu Dhabi brought in teachers from Ireland, South Africa, Canada,
Everywhere.
New Zealand. And so
Right.
I got a chance to meet and the local teachers there, the Arabic teachers. So I got a chance to really have conversations with teachers from around the world,
Mm-hmm.
which informed my work by letting me know that these issues that teachers face are
Right.
not just
Are not-
centralized to
yeah,
our
exactly.
local communities. Like,
It's
teachers
global.
are concerned about pay. Teachers are concerned
Mhm.
about not having a voice. These are like
Working
global
conditions.
issues that really impact the work that we do as educators. And
Right.
that was a big aha moment for me.
Yeah, right. Getting those hearing from different individuals from different places, but having the same common, understanding about what's needed, in the profession.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you have the passion for helping teachers, but you also have a passion for holistic health and wellness. And we're going to talk a little bit about your company, Collective Learning. But where did the passion for holistic health and wellness come about? Was that an evolution? Were you always interested in that?
Yes. Personally, for my lifestyle, it's been probably like a 20, 25-year journey
Mm-hmm.
in regards to living a more holistic way of being.
Right.
To be quite honest with you, my collective learning was strictly focused on helping teachers
Right.
to take ownership of their learning and to help them to kind of feel empowered about what they know and to share what they know. So it's really more focused on the professional development aspect of
Right.
it. And it just, again, when I was getting ready to leave Abu Dhabi, it just kind of hit me like, this job is very stressful.
Right.
Like, and this, the
Definitely.
idea of teacher wellness and health and wellness. And I just started doing some research around that and saw that there was actually conversations happening back in the States about
Right.
teacher wellness,
Yeah.
and people were starting to look at it, seriously. And I was kind of happy because I was able to then bring two things that I actually enjoyed together.
Right. Passions, two passions, yeah.
My whole personal aspect of wellness and how that has helped me as an educator and as a person, and being able to tie that with my work on collaboration and teacher learning and teacher development. So I'm in a very, very happy space right now
That's
of
awesome.
merging those two together.
Right. So tell us about collective learning. What is collective learning, and what do you do, and how do you help teachers?
Collective learning, basically is a company that focuses on a common concept, collaboration. I feel that through my work as a mentor, coaching teachers, doing staff development, I just feel that if teachers had time to come together and learn from each other, then that would be just a great way
Right.
for them to build capacity around their work and their practice.
Right.
So collective learning was built on a concept of helping teachers to kind of increase a sense of efficacy, knowing that they can and they can do it also together.
Right.
I offer like several different packages, one-on-one coaching to help empower the individual teacher. The teacher collaborative is kind of like where I empower them to be supportive of each other. And then I go in and do like a system-wide program where I help schools kind of utilize, like, through the basic concept of peer observation, but I expanded that by providing a training that is actually focused on breaking down the skills. What makes peer observation really good? How can it be a learning opportunity for teachers and self-initiated by teachers? So basic concepts, but what I try to do is I kind of break it down so that these concepts are sustainable within the school.
Right. It's not a one-shot deal. It seems like this would be work that would have to be developed over a period of time to make an impact.
Right.
Yeah.
And that investment, however, will empower. It's time, like you said, but what happens is teachers become self-sufficient. So you're investing maybe half a semester, a semester or half or a whole year.
Right.
But what school will receive is teachers who are empowered to actually, self-organize themselves to create solutions, to support each other, support their learning. And so that's worth an investment because you got a lifetime of, sustainable learning in your building. So it's worth the time to put in, to invest.
So you have an event coming up this Saturday.
Yes.
I know you're very excited about it. You've been working hard on it, getting it going. So tell us what the event is about.
Sure.
We're going to put some information up so people can kind of know about it, but share what the event is about.
Yes, I am very, very excited about this event because it's the first time that I'm able to unite the wellness and the teacher learning. And it's called Ignite the Teacher Power Within. And I actually did a version of this in Indonesia and in Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
But the beauty about what I'm going to do here in San Diego is I'm going to have the wellness component in it.
Nice.
And so I'm bringing in and collaborating with people who are, who are experts, if you will, but it's their specialty, nutritionists or, physical therapists to come in and actually collaborate. So teachers are hearing from them ways to help manage their stress.
Right.
And then they're going to learn from me how to use collaboration as a way to manage and lower their stress and build a safe space for them to have those conversations.
Great. So your event's going to be in San Diego on Saturday. We did put up the information about it. But are you planning to do these type of events in other locations?
Oh my goodness, definitely, Verdel. This is really just like me kind of jumping into the water,
right?
Just like this, doing it, and allowing it to be an opportunity to learn how to perfect it and make it better, so I can take it, nationally, internationally and expand it in many different ways.
This is awesome. I'm so proud of you for launching this event in San Diego. I wish I could come because San Diego is beautiful. I've never been. I've been to LA, but I haven't been to San Diego. But I'm so happy for you. I'm wishing you nothing but the best. You're welcome. How can people get in contact with you, whether it be educators themselves, a collective of educators, or school districts who are interested in the health and well-being of their teachers and the professional development aspect as well?
Right. So I am developing a following on Instagram. And so you can find me there at Collective Learning LLC. Also, Twitter is another social media. I heard you talking about branding and getting your, using media. Right. I am using media to definitely put the word out there. So on Twitter, I can be found at Dr. Sarah Boz. And then, of course, my website. Okay. My website is www.clteachertalent.com. And my personal email address is Dr. Boz, and that's with a C, Dr. B-O-Z at clteachertalent.com.
Awesome. So I want to thank you so much for being in our Teacher Spotlight. We like to focus on teachers who are really, or educators who are really making an impact in our community, whether it be working with teachers or children, just making the field of education, honoring that, because it needs to be honored and highlighted. So I want to thank you so much for being here, and I wish you much success on your event on Saturday.
Well, thank you so much, Verdel. This was a great opportunity, and I'm so glad to have been on your show. Thank you for the invite.
All right. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have Beth Brown here in studio.
Hey, it's Natasha.
And Khalil.
And we are the co-hosts of Woke and Free. If you've been tuning in every week for Woke and Free Wednesday, you know that Woke and Free is all about being real and honest with each other and you. We talk about everything and anything that's important to us, to you, the world, and nothing is off the table.
Make sure you follow us on social media to follow along in the conversation. And make sure you tune in next week for Woke and Free Wednesday to join the conversation at wokeandfree.com.
Wow. If you want to be a guest on the show, I'm still at wow there, guys. But please submit a topic for an upcoming episode. Share how you feel. Hit us up on our Contact Us page at wokenfree.com. That is WOKENFREE.com. Again, if you want to hit us up on social media, always feel free to find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Woke and Free. And have you checked out our YouTube channel as well? Go to wokenfree.com. You'll see all of our handles, and I think you'll like all the content out there.
If you didn't already subscribe, please do, share the episode, and make sure you come back to join the conversation every Wednesday for Woke and Free Wednesdays. Remember, Woke and Free is more than a podcast, it is a way of life. Until next time.
Welcome back to Conversations with Verdel Jones. As you see, I have my guest here, Beth Brown, in studio. Thank you for being here.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
We
Thank
are
you.
excited to talk to you about all the initiatives that are going on with you and what you're doing. You have an event coming up, so we're going to talk about that as well. But you're also a photographer.
Yes.
So how did you develop the love for photography? When did you get started? Why did you get started? Was it always something you wanted to do?
Yeah, so I realized it was my passion after I realized it was my passion, if that makes any sense. So when I was in about 4th grade, my father's aunt, so my great aunt, gave me this little point and shoot camera for Christmas.
Right.
And I went around the house with no film in it, just like clicking. And my father also subscribed to National Geographic, and I just loved looking at the photographs. And then that was it.
Right.
I mean, I took vacation photos or whatever, but that was it.
Right.
So later on in life, I had a friend, one of my best friends, and she worked with someone who was a professional photographer. And I was like, oh, I've always wanted to work with a professional photographer. Hook me up. So I assisted him doing weddings. And yeah,
and the rest was history, right?
Developed. Yeah.
And you know what? It's such an art. We've had a couple photographers, on the show, and I'm so amazed at what you guys see as far as a picture. Like when I take a picture, it's never good, but
I'm sure
it's not. Okay. But there's definitely an art. Our son takes pictures. Also, he's a film film guy, so he takes pictures. Yeah. Also, he has an eye for it. But it's such a talent. How do you feel about the wannabe photographers with their iPhones?
Well,
because you hear that with the with iPhones and everybody taking pictures with phones, that they don't think they need a photographer. Please dispel that.
I'm going to dispel it, but also say it's true. Okay. So, I mean, obviously, it depends on the photo that you want.
Right.
So if you really want a professional-looking photo shoot for like a birthday or a magazine cover or something, then you should hire a professional photographer. But I have a self-published book called Brooklyn, and it was in an exhibit, and it's going to be put up again. And those are all photos taken on my iPhone.
Nice, but you have an eye for it.
Yes,
right,
yes, there's composition. You need to know
exactly. I
arrange.
Just point and click. you
yes.
know. So you have to know that, and it really does make a difference. So we're going to talk about the Big Black Book NYC and what you do with business owners to kind of assist them with that as well. So what is the Big Black Book NYC? You started in 2017, August of 2017. So what is it?
So I launched using Instagram, a small business directory, and you want to think about it as it being like the Yellow Pages, only the modern version.
Right.
So if you want to plan a TV show, but you need like a makeup artist, you need a stylist, maybe you need a new furniture, maybe you need your taxes done for all your business expenses.
Right.
You could go to this directory and you would start looking through it. And so you would see, stylists, and then you would contact someone to help you with your wardrobe or your makeup or your accounting or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah. So why did you start The Big Black Book NYC.
Why did I start
Yes.
the Big Black Book
And
NYC?
I enjoyed our conversation.
Yes.
We talked about for a good little bit, and you were
Yeah.
explaining what you actually did, and I just thought it was such a unique approach to having a directory and the events that you have. And I want to talk about the event because I think
Yes.
that's so exciting. But why did you start it?
So, back actually, I had the idea for about a year, as I said in our conversation. And it's like the start that scared me because it was all my weaknesses that would require me to organize
Yeah,
something.
right.
I'm not the most organized person. So, yes. So I had seen all these different news stories about different people having, just basically being murdered by
Right.
the police without, justice.
Just right.
And in particular, I'm blanking on his name now. The man who was shot in front of his son in the car. I
Oh,
think it was
right,
in
yeah,
Michigan.
right,
Yeah,
yes.
was like the end of it
Yeah.
for me. And I get most of my ideas when I'm driving. A lot of my ideas when I'm driving. So I was like driving along, and I was basically talking to God about it, and I was telling him how upset I was, and
Right.
that I wanted to do something. But I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not going to become a cop, and I'm not this, and I'm not that. And then I felt God was like, but you're a photographer.
Yeah.
So I started brainstorming ideas, which are not really how it's turned out. I was originally going to just get a group of, initially I was thinking like men of color, because that was who was seeming to be
target, right.
predominantly targeted.
Right.
So it was to just like kind of do like a group photo shot and then individual photos and like their business bios and just kind of showing a totally different aspect, a
Right.
human aspect. And I'm a photographer, so using art
that skill,
as
yeah.
like a socio-political economic force.
Right. Interesting.
So yeah. But then I sat on the idea, and then I felt I should revisit it. And I started making new notes, and then I got a couple people who I knew to sit down
Right.
and just tell me, yes, do it. And actually, one of the women that I sat down with at this meeting, she was the one who named it, Cynthia Lundy.
Okay.
Yeah, she was like, and you should call it the Big Black Book. And I was like, and NYC. And yeah, because we're in New York City. Yeah.
It's we all can do something. And that's the thing. Like you said, you weren't going to become an officer. You weren't going to do this. Like for me, I know that I might not go and march out in the streets. I know that I might not do those certain things, but there's always something that you could do
Yes.
to show support and to bring awareness. So this is kind of, definitely what you're doing, bringing awareness. And one of the things that I said in the opening was dispelling some of those, stereotypes that people might have of people of color.
Right.
So highlighting their, their big businesses. And when I was reading your bio, I saw that you came from, what's the town? I can't think of it right now. But Sydney, New
yes.
York, and since I've never heard of Sydney, New York, anything that I hear, I don't know the name that's in New York, I'm like, oh, that must be upstate.
It is. It is.
So I'm like,
not down here.
So I had to look on the map, and I knew it was upstate.
Yes.
And so you come from a really small town, right? And
yeah.
so how did you develop this passion to wanting to reach out in this way to start, a directory like this?
Well, if anyone had told me like back when I was a child, you'll be a professional photographer,
Right.
you'll be doing this, that, I would have said no. But yeah, it's interesting because I was just thinking like over the past few months just to try to like reground myself and to like really like maybe more strategically focus in and zero in on my purpose and like just tweaking things in business in general for myself.
Right,
and,
yeah. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
And you
It's
have
a lot.
to revisit
You
things
really
every
do.
once
Yes,
in a while.
absolutely.
So I was thinking back and I realized in high school learning, or maybe it was middle school, no, high school more, learning, Martin Luther King and civil rights, but then they presented it like it was over and done. There was like everyone now can vote, everyone can sit at the same lunch counter, life is good for everyone.
Right.
And so I was like, I wish I'd been born in the 50s and the 60s. I would have wanted to march. I mean, I remember literally thinking that in high school. I mean,
Right.
oh, I guess there's nothing left to do. And
Everything's done.
Everything's done.
Right.
And then I grew up
Right.
and entered the real world.
That's right. That's
and
right.
realized, no,
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I get to actually still do something very, very different.
Right.
It's very, very different.
But it's still, as I said, it's still, making an impact. So how do you see the Big Black Book NYC dispelling those stereotypes of people of color?
Well, for starters, it's a photo. So when you look at a photo, and I was just telling this to someone else the other week, when you look at a photo, at least as a photographer, what I like to focus in on is the eyes, because the eyes are the soul.
Yes,
and so when you look
definitely.
at that photo, you see the person, like how they're dressed, and there is, the professional attire you see, but really you see their eyes, and you can see into the soul, and you see that person's human.
Yeah,
and
that's
it.
That's the key. There's so many news stories, and it's interesting that you said you see them as human, because I was listening to I listened to Karen Hunter on Urban View, and we were talking. I wasn't talking to her. She was. She was talking about the governor in Virginia that had the photo with the blackface and the Ku Klux Klan, and then there was I think it was Gucci. They had this ad. I don't know if you saw the ad.
I did not.
So the ad is basically it's a woman dressed, but it looks very reminiscent of a Sambo, right? And what she was saying is that it's the dehumanizing, the history of it is dehumanizing individuals.
Yes.
So you saying that, it gives people a different perspective in the humanization of individuals. And I think that's a lot of what the issues are, around this. So this is great. I love what you're doing. You have a event coming up on Saturday. We're going to show that in a minute, but before we do, tell me what this event is about.
Yes. So the event, it has a couple different purposes. So the event is in part to build the directory so that there's more. I want the directory to still be exclusive. I'm not looking to have every fitness trainer or every cupcake baker. I still want it, exclusive and good quality.
Okay.
But I do want it a little more developed, so that people have a nice selection because.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I got
right?
you. Right.
Everyone has different personalities
Right.
of who they work best with, and sometimes products I have my own style of photography, for example,
Right.
but the other photographer I partner with, his style is a little different. So depending on what you want, you may want to go with him, you may want myself, or there's another photographer in the moment. So, you have a little choice too. But also I have people ask me if they can send me a photo and just be included. But the point is also from the socioeconomic political part that I not only want things to look powerful, I want them, I think, and I was telling you in our conversation over the phone, I want them to be real. I am not looking for something fake. I want it real, real power, so that if you come to this event, you meet someone else, and then you can do anything from exchange ideas to encourage each other. Or take it further and then partner for some type of business association, whether it's vending or whatever
it might
happens
be.
to be co-creating something.
Yeah. I love that concept, because it's not only do they get to be in the directory, but they're also that because a lot of times, especially with social media, we're so distant from everyone, so this is a nice way to bring people together who are interested in bettering themselves and the community as well. So I love it. So let's show the event. The event is on Saturday, and it's in Brooklyn.
Yes, it's in Brooklyn.
So what can people expect when they go to the event? Because I know you said something about like, do they get a photo of themselves? Like,
Yes.
Okay, so explain that.
So when the entrepreneurs arrive, so I work with a team.
Okay.
So when they arrive, they will be greeted and they will fill out a business bio. So it's going to tell about their business, because how am I going to know anything about your business? I don't know you. So they'll fill out a form with their name, like their social media, website, different contact information so that people can find them. About their business, like a word of encouragement even for other entrepreneurs. And then,
nice.
yes, because we have to
build each other up, right?
build each other up. And so then what will happen is they will get like a quick powder touch up.
Okay.
I partner also with a makeup artist.
Nice.
And so you would still come with your makeup done, but just to
touch
get
you
a
up
little,
a little bit, zhuzh you up a little bit.
Yeah, a little smoothing out or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, a little polish.
Right.
And then I also partner with, I rotate through different jewelry designers.
Okay.
So, depending on if you would like, you could also get like a little styling, for like
nice.
earrings or
I love
necklaces
it.
to kind of add
really
a little more
cool.
pizzazz to your outfit. And then I partner with a professional photographer, and he and I do like the headshots.
Nice.
And so then you would get your headshot. And so the headshot, you would get one. It's not like a customized shoot. So
Right,
it's, standard background.
But still, so they for $50, they get the networking, they get the directory, and they get a headshot.
Yes.
That's great.
And they get it in the directory, and they also get the
they get
headshot.
Yes. That is awesome.
So it's an excellent deal.
Yeah,
it's
it's a steal.
Because a headshot session is a whole different price.
That's right. Exactly.
Yes.
So make sure, everyone goes out to or contacts Beth in reference to the event, because I know you have specific things that you're kind of looking for. Right? So, but definitely reach out. How can people reach out to you?
So you can go through Instagram. If you're on Instagram, you can go through Instagram to the Big Black Book NYC and hit the follow button. So even if you're not an entrepreneur and you're watching this, like absolutely follow us so that you can then, whenever you have either shopping for gifts or for yourself or just whatever it is that you need, a service, because some of them are like, not just, I have authors listed, so maybe you need a good book, like a new book. It's still the new year, you may need a new book, or I have different people who do life coaching, so maybe you need some extra encouragement. So you could just, follow the directory and use it. As well as if you're a small business owner, all the info for our next event is posted. You can message me directly. And ticket links are in the bio.
Okay.
Yes.
That's great. I mean, I love the concept. I love the work that you're doing.
Thank you.
It's great work. It really is. It really is. So I want to thank you for being a guest on Conversations with Verdel Jones.
Thank you so much for having me.
It was very nice meeting you. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have Sharon Devonish Leid in studio. See you in a few minutes. Thank you. Welcome back to Conversations with Verdel Jones. As you can see, we have Miss Sharon Devonish Leid here in studio.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to have you.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks so much.
Yes, thank you. So, I was reading your bio, and this, of course, caught my attention that you have been married to your business partner for 23 years.
Absolutely.
And you guys are high school sweethearts.
Yes, we are.
And me and my husband are high school sweethearts.
Really? You don't have that a lot.
No, you don't. You really don't.
You don't
really,
have
really
that
don't.
a lot.
So we've been married for 30 years in September.
Congratulations.
And thank you very much. And I started dating him at 14. He was
Wow.
16. So
Ooh,
yeah, I was a little
okay.
fast, as they would say.
Listen, I'm not going to say anything. Y'all still together.
We're still together, right? Exactly. So how is it working with your husband in this business?
You want to know something? It's really great. I love it. I love it. My husband pushes me to the limit.
Yeah.
And he is the only one that will push me to that limit. I get mad, walk away, and then come back and say, okay, you're right. I can't say anything else because at the end of the day, he has my best interest.
Absolutely.
And I can't say anything negative about it because one, like I said, he has my best interest too. It's the family. It's a family business.
Family business. Absolutely.
And
everybody's on board.
Everybody's on board.
Right.
You know, we bring the kids on board.
Right.
You know, people look at us like we crazy, and I'm like, no, this is what we have to do. Build family wealth.
Yeah.
And
So
if
important.
we can't do that, then who's going to do it for our
Absolutely. I love that you said that because, you know, as you know, working on the show and doing other things that I do, everybody's on board.
kids? Yeah, everybody.
I drive them crazy, but they're there because you know, we're working toward a goal.
Right.
You know, we really are. We want to be, you know, people who work for themselves really are the ones who are going to benefit because you only have so many hours in the day.
Absolutely.
And you only have, you're limited when you're working for somebody else.
Right.
you
Right.
know,
Right.
and what you could actually do. So, you know, I push it all the time. I'm like 7 streams of income. You know,
Exactly.
they're tired of hearing me, but they
gotta
do
hear
it,
it.
and they
You
got
gotta do it.
they
You gotta do
hear
it. You know, I got our 11-year-old Justin. He's even doing stuff. I'm looking at him like, Mommy, are you serious? Yes, I am. You will thank me when you get to your brother's ages, 23 and 21.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about your business, NetStruc PR, right? NetStruc PR. So how did you get into public relations? Is this what you've always been doing, or so how did you get into this?
Absolutely not. I actually wanted to be a pediatrician.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And one of the requirements is that you have to be able to see blood.
Okay. And you that cut that out.
That cut that
Got
out
it.
immediately.
Okay.
That cut
Okay.
that out immediately. And then, well, my mom is from the law enforcement background. She works in the DA's office.
Okay.
She got me a job at the DA's office. Went to John Jay College.
Okay.
Got my degree, paralegal. Went into the DA,
Right.
and that's what I thought my career was going to be.
Wow.
And it wasn't until one of the bureau chiefs came to me and asked me if I wanted to go into community relations. I had no idea what he was talking about. Nothing whatsoever.
Right. That
He
was like
said-
foreign to you,
It was
right?
foreign to me because I
Right.
was like, listen, I'm a paralegal. I worked in the different
Right.
bureaus, domestic violence and everything. And I was like,
Interesting. Right.
so I said, sure, no problem. He said, you have the personality for it. Still didn't understand what he meant. And went into there. I did 3 years as a paralegal in the DA's office. I was there for 18 years. And the last 15 years, I was working in community relations.
Wow. Okay.
And I have to say, when I first did my first meeting, and this is a true story, I'm not going to say the name of the organization, but the first meeting I went to, they were literally chanting "down with the police."
Oh, wow.
And I was like,
uh-oh.
like, what am I? What? But that was one of the first meetings that put that put hair on my chest to say, okay, listen,
right.
you cover in Brooklyn. This is what you have to do. You got to make sure that people understand what the programs are, they get the services, and you make sure that you do it the right way.
Right.
And I was trained that way. And I was literally in the middle of community engagement, connecting the DA with different community people, getting media, working with the press department, just making sure that the programs and initiatives. And listen, working for the city of New York, you got to make sure your A game is A game every single minute. And when I was let go, I decided instead of me looking for a job, let me just do what I love doing for the last 15 years, which was start my own PR firm.
And it seems every entrepreneur that I talk to, or a lot of them, a lot, not every, but a lot, it's always something that happens. Either they're laid off, or they're fired, or they're downsized, whatever it is, and it kind of pushes them to do something that they're passionate about.
Because I'll be honest with you, I would have never
you would have never left. Right, exactly.
Somebody in that position they never leave that position because it's a passion. They love to do it. So you're not going to leave that position for what? I love what I do. I love my job.
So why not do it for yourself?
Exactly. And that's what I did.
Right. So the conversation today, we're talking about, we were talking about a directory and a unique approach to getting your name out there. What is a brand, first of all? Because we always hear, your brand. What does that mean? And then how do you get it out to people so they can know what that is?
Right. Your brand is you. You are your brand. If you do hair, then you do hair, but that is your brand.
Right.
That is what you're getting out there. And a lot of people mistaken the brand for the service. And what I mean by that is that people will put out flyers and they'll say, oh, and I'm going to use hair because that's the easiest one. 50% off for wash and set.
Right.
And what's the difference between your 50% off a wash and set than another hairstylist 50% wash and set?
In other words, you want to explain what they're getting.
What they're getting. Who is the actual person that is doing your hair? And that goes a long way. That really goes a long way. And I have to actually educate my clients and let them know.
That makes a lot of sense. That's very, very simple what you said.
Yeah.
But it makes a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of sense. It does. Because the story goes further than a flyer.
Than a 50% off flyer.
Exactly.
That's true.
Because you'll have 50 of them in a magazine or whatever. But if you have 50%, but here's the story of why I'm doing 50%. Because I love doing for cancer patients. I love doing for people who have hair problems. Why? Because I had the background of it, or to whatever extent that is. And those are the type of clients I like to get. Because the story is what makes the impact for want people to know more about the service.
And how do people get their brand out? Once they figure that out, because I don't, it seems to me a brand doesn't develop like that.
No, it
right? It takes a period of time to kind of develop it. And really kind of, some people I think are nervous about, okay, I'm putting this out there and then I might change it a little bit. Is that not the right thing to do? Or, I mean, I would think as long as you're improving it, it's fine. But, so once they get that together, how do they get their name out there? How do they get people to know it?
So many different ways. And you're right, it's so many different ways. So if you have never been interviewed before, if you've never been on TV, I always tell people start off with your social media. There's some do-it-yourself services that you can do. Start off with your social media. Get a YouTube page. Do some videos about what you actually do. And then I tell people, I said, listen, do not knock media. All media is good media.
Right.
All media is good. Once it fits your industry, all media is good media. Do your research. Make sure that there's some collaboration or there's some synergy, but get on some public access, stations, get on online stations, podcasts, because at the end of the day, I tell people mainstream media is great. But it's very hard to get on.
Very difficult. Right, exactly.
It's very difficult, especially if you have no media experience background.
Right. It really is. You just can't, walk on to Good Morning America.
Right, exactly. They got to do the research. They want to see what have you done in the past. Because listen, that's a national television.
They can't just have anybody.
They can't just have anybody. So I tell people, I say, listen, when we go on these stations, it's great because now you have a platform.
Right. Absolutely.
You have a following. People are now seeing you that you can actually interview. You're articulated enough to do that. Now they're not worried.
Yeah, what's going to happen? That's true. That's absolutely true because I have guests on my show all the time, and they're always nervous. They're always I'm so nervous, and I said I promise I'll make you look good.
Right, exactly. And that's important.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've had but I talk to them beforehand too.
Yes.
Just to get, a sense of what, what their skill set is as far as that and what the work I really need to do to make them feel, comfortable or not. But there's so many different, there's social media, there's just, networks and things like that. And I think, as I was saying in the top of the show, I do a lot of things in-house, either, my children, my husband, myself, we do it all in-house. When does a person need to say to themselves, you know what, I can't do this on my own? I need to seek
Step
a
it up.
professional such as you to help them get to the next level.
Well, what I usually do, I do the do-it-yourself first. Once you can master the do-it-yourself,
Right.
then that's when I say come in. If you can do your simple social media postings,
Right.
do your, get your story out there.
Right.
Just do little things. And I don't mean social media postings meaning, you take a picture of yourself, hey, what's up? No, tell a story.
Tell a story,
Yeah.
right.
Tell a couple of lines, nothing
Right.
big. Do a little video, do a live. If you do events, put that on live. If you can do that, now you're looking for media exposure.
Right. Okay.
And if you can take the time, and I say there's some simple ones that you can reach out to, and it's not a problem. If you can do that, then you have mastered the do-it-yourself.
Okay.
But if you don't have time to do that, because obviously an entrepreneur, they got to still make sure that they make a business and they're doing, so if they have clients, how are they going to do that? But you have to have a plan, and you got to have a budget.
Yeah, you have. Right. You have to pay people.
You got to
you
pay
have to pay people.
Yes.
Yeah, you have
People
to.
think that a publicist is something where it's just poof, the magic dragon.
Right.
And
No.
it's a lot of
It's a
work
lot of
behind
work.
it. It's a
Yeah,
lot of work behind it.
absolutely,
I'm
absolutely.
calling networks, I'm asking, and listen, the mainstream and even some regular stations
Right,
that
yeah.
you think will be easy to get on, it may not be the flavor of the moment for your
Right.
business.
Interesting.
So I have to keep looking.
looking,
I have
right.
to, and it's
Yeah.
a constant
is.
look. It's a constant look.
It
But
really
that's why
is.
I partner with a lot of media
Right,
outlets.
right, exactly.
Because if I can't get some of the mainstream, now I have my media partners that I can call up and say, hey, listen,
Right.
I need a slot.
Yeah.
You got a slot?
Yeah. You go to that secondary, that
Exactly.
the third level, whatever it might
Right.
be, just to get their name out there.
Right.
So, and I was thinking about, some of the conversation that I wanted to have, and I had to ask this. You have a lot of clients. So who was a client that you had to say, you know what, I got to let you go? You don't have to name names, but what were the types of things that they did that you said, you know what?
They don't listen. That's the number one thing. If you don't listen, if we're at an event and I'm telling you do A and you're
Right.
like, no, I'm doing Z.
Right.
You don't even say I'm gonna do B or C. You're going straight to Z. No, this is not a conversation. This is not a
Right.
business relationship we're gonna have.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, especially if I have to be able to trust you.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to trust me.
Right.
And
Yeah.
if we're out
That's right.
there, because I include community engagement, and if we're in a platform where we have hundreds of people in there, and I'm about to put you on stage to
Right.
talk about your brand, and you just go left.
That's not a good.
No,
it's not
that's
good for you.
It's not good for me. I'm not even looking at you. It's not good for me.
right.
Because at the end of the day, I want people to understand and say,
Right.
okay, she's bringing some quality
That's right,
clients up
yeah,
here. She has
exactly.
quality business people that's
right,
doing that. And
exactly.
I don't want anybody that's any riff-raffs or anything like that. And, and I don't want unnecessary damage control.
Right. Yeah. You don't need that.
I don't need that. I really don't need that.
That's
So
right.
that's the thing. And again, that's why I do the do-it-yourself.
Right. Okay.
You can follow that, and we have this conversation, and we sit down and we go over these things. I'm fine with it.
Right.
I'll do it yourself in the community. We'll go out there, see how you act, and see how
Right.
you mingle and things like that. And if I'm okay with it,
Then. Okay.
But yeah, you gotta listen. I've had some. I have.
I'm sure you have.
Oh my God, I had some.
So tell people, you are all over the place. So do you have any events coming up, and how can people contact you if they're interested in having a publicist, somebody to really help them with what they're doing? First, what events are coming up for you, and how can people get in touch with you?
Well, I am the founder of Ladies of Third Thursday.
Yes, that's right. That's
which
right.
is a business networking event that I decided to put together 4 years ago. We actually, this month on the 21st of February, well, the third Thursday of February is our 4-year anniversary.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
And thank you. So the reason why I put Ladies of Third Thursday together, first of all, I just like the name Ladies of Third Thursday. It just flowed.
Right.
But I've gone to so many network events
Yeah.
that some I liked,
Right.
some I didn't, but I liked little components of it.
Right.
So what I did with Ladies of Third Thursday, I brought 3 women on that I've networked with. They're my sisters.
Okay.
They are like my tight circle.
Right.
They started out with me. And I said, listen, all of us are business women. We're all entrepreneurs. I love the style of how you do business. I want you guys on my board.
Okay.
We came together, we did it, we meet at different locations, we invite people, it's a free event.
Nice.
And
nice,
you know,
nice.
we show people how to network.
I love it.
We bring on our network, our circle, other people come in.
That's awesome.
And it started out, we had, which was surprising, we had like about 30 or 40 people. Now we pack the place.
Wow.
Like restaurants are looking for us to come out and host our events
wow.
there. And you know, we
it gets the people
yeah,
in the
we
door.
bring people in the door.
That's right.
We support the restaurant, so everybody who knows that comes, support the restaurant. Buy an appetizer, buy a cocktail, buy a drink. You know, because at the end of the day, they're a small business also.
Right.
So what we do is we have that. We have our 4-year anniversary coming up, which
Congratulations.
is which thank you, which is February 21st. And so we change it up a little now. Because I wanted to bring on some business resources for businesses. Last month we were hosted at LinkedIn.
Okay. Yes, I saw that
headquarters.
online.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. And this year we'll be at Google.
Oh, nice.
So
Ooh,
Google is hosting
okay.
us this year. So we're hosting,
Awesome,
and
awesome.
we do our signature event, which is every March for Women's History event, and we honor 31 businesswomen.
Oh, nice.
That
Nice.
you know, that just magnificent work either in their career or business.
Nice.
And free event. All our events are free.
Awesome.
All
so
of our events.
we're almost out of time. We're really out of time.
You were really out of time. Oh my gosh.
So tell people where they can reach out to you. How can they contact you?
They can contact me on my website, which is www.netstruc, that's NetStrucPR.com. You can also reach me on all social media platforms, which is NetStruc LLC. IG is NetStruc PR.
All right. Well, I want to thank you, Sharon, so much for being here.
Thank you.
I want to thank all of our guests today. Boosting your brand. I mean, these ladies shared some information that can really, really help you get you where you want to go. So thank you for watching Conversations with Verdel Jones, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.